Hey everyone, Egman here, and I am joined with literally a random guy that I met at the event and became friends because I gave him free stuff, Andrew Klinger.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
He was running a very interesting Golden Frieza deck for the event, and he ended up going 5-3, just right below top cut. And I thought the deck was really interesting, and I think was at St. Louis. Did you see anyone else running Golden Frieza?
There was one other person.
Okay,
However, I don't think he was running the same colors. I think it was mostly just yellow.
okay, yeah, because you've got the yellow red package, as you can
Yeah.
see. Cool. So let's talk about your deck. So for people who don't know, what this Frieza does is active main once per turn. You place one of your Frieza army cards from the battle area to the drop area. You untap one energy, you draw a card. At 4, you draw 2 to awaken, and then the same thing on the backside, but you get to untap 2 energy when you use when you send a Frieza army to the discard area. So that's really powerful. Untapping energy is really important in this meta, which is why we've seen so many blue leaders with sensu beans and trunks. So I think it is really kind of meta relevant to have like this kind of rogue untap leader that we don't really see very often.
Yeah. And I just view the reason why I kind of have always played this is like all the one drops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care what their effects do. All it says is untap a mana and draw a card at the end of the day when you
Yeah,
awaken.
yeah, and so as long as you have one energy, it's free cycle, right?
Hmm.
Which is really important, and can also build up your drop area for free for your foods that you have. And one of the most important things that this Frieza is he's got Frieza's army, obviously, so he can run Cold Bloodlust, which I feel like a lot of people aren't really thinking about right now.
Yeah. And everybody asks me why not Cold Bloodlust like in the main.
Hmm.
The meta, it's so quick, and like the one drops and the two drops aren't
Hmm.
really worth cobalt lasting most cases,
Yeah.
except for the tournament I just lost. But I mean, Foreseeing Hit, that's an obvious choice. I'll side those in for that. Any chain attack decks, mostly just against like blue red Super Saiyan 3, I'm putting in Cold Bloodlust
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Kefla.
Definitely, and I can see if you had like an untap 2 as your awaken as well, I could see that. But if you're only sitting at one energy and you can't untap during your opponent's turn as easily, so it could just be really dead when you have a bunch of extra cards. Since you're running 3 Nimbus and 3 Crusher Ball too, and I feel like Crusher Ball does pretty much the same thing as Cold Bloodless does against kind of Storm, 1 mana, 2 mana heavy
Hmm.
decks. So
Yeah,
I
if
think
somebody's trying to self awaken, they play their one drop. You just deny it real quickly. It's really satisfying.
yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, why'd you do that? It's just a Kaba." Like, "Oh, you know why." So yeah, so we've got these as your kind of your engine for untapping energy, and then let's see, we have four Dodoria as your super combos. Have you ever had any thought to just run like one Shugesh and like try to cheese a win out of off just people not expecting that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Mhm. Yeah, actually, the day of, I was like, I don't know, guys, do I put just one in?
Hmm.
Yeah, just like, but then I was looking at my Shigesh targets in the deck, and
Hmm.
they're not fantastic.
Yeah.
I did have explosive in the sideboard, which I never used once.
Hmm.
So a guy saw that in my drop, and he was like in a side deck in Kronoa
Yeah.
because he was expecting me to put Shigesh in, or have Shigesh already
Sure.
because you can't
Sure.
side deck it. But I ended up just trying to be more consistent with the deck. The
Hmm.
Avenging Frieza can already whiff.
Yeah.
Some days it's bad. It's like over half the time, but
Hmm.
most times it's pretty good, like 60, 70%,
Yeah.
I would say on average.
You've got 12 targets and not including himself. So
Yeah, so
pretty.
it's kind of lower. It could be higher.
Uh huh.
Uh, there was, when I first built this deck, I kind of just thought of it. I love the new trunks, the dimensional support trunks.
Yeah, I was gonna
Put
bring that
in,
up. Yeah.
yeah, put in the squeeze and the pools,
Hmm.
and I just found it too slow against Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
Because like you're just swinging 1k or a 1 damage, guy.
Hmm.
Where you really need those double strikers and stuff when they're already at 4 life or less.
Yeah.
And I was love Fu, so obviously I just went with him instead. And It
Yeah.
lowered my Frieza army number, unfortunately, but I ended up discovering Sorbet, and I guess I can walk through each one and why I play it for here.
Yeah.
So Avenging Frieza is the obvious choice.
Yeah.
You get lucky, you hit one, you draw 2 at the end of the day because you kill him off.
Yeah, easy +1.
Super great card. He's like plus a mana and draw 2. I mean, who wouldn't play a card that said that, right?
Exactly, especially when one of the draws can be like your super combo, right? Like that's
one
of the super valuable.
Goldo, absolutely love him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of my favorite cards.
Yes.
Before the repair in St. Louis in round 7, a guy he was playing Lineage Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
Played Bardock, swapped into the Scrambling Goten, passed. So there, I played Goldo on him, tap it down, swing with my leader. Yeah. I didn't combo anything. He was a little afraid I would have more because I could just untap my mana after that, and he just let it die. And then I heard about it repairing, so I was really kind of disappointed because I had like the best opener possible.
Yeah, but, and so Goldo, he just untaps something 2 or less, correct? If your leader is Frieza army.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a really funny card. Love it. Unfortunate thing about him and Sorbet is though their power level is really low. If they were both 5Ks, that would be quite ideal. Yeah,
but I'd say they're pretty good right now since they're blockers with like additional abilities as well. So let's go to Sorbet too. So thoughts on him? Yeah,
so I wasn't playing him before because of the trunks and stuff, but then I discovered Sorbet and also the ability to put 4 in my drop really quick for back-to-back Scientist Food turns or something like that. You pitch a card, combo with 2 if they're Frieza army. If not, they go to the discard pile, and then you can sacrifice him. So there's 4 cards right there. Yeah. Especially with Zen-oh can be a dead card in your hand. Just pitch that. I mean, you don't really care what you hit. Sometimes you hit a Dodoria, and that's really lucky, but there's luck in every card game.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a blocker, which with both in Goldo, people forget that they're blockers, and a lot of people are reading Sorbet and Goldo. Old cards, a lot of set 1 cards in this deck. Yeah. Of course, Dodoria, the super combo.
And then I guess we'll just keep moving on to the right. So we've got Power Charge Bardock, and he's he has kind of like that Adolescent Gohan promo where you attack with him, you either draw a card or you get double strike, pretty much. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
so I was looking for kind of a mid-range card that also provided some double strike pressure. There's Burst Attack Gohan, there's the BCC Gohan, which you just described. Yeah. The only reason why I didn't go with one of those 2 is because they require 2 red.
Oh, okay.
And I really like to open yellow, red, yellow. Yeah. Because I just all my negates and stuff are yellow. All my counterplays yellow. I like to leave a yellow open.
Yeah, and I think that's really smart, since especially even if you have to do 1 yellow and 2 red, it gets flexibility there. You're not losing any important keywords, and it can be used for Nimbus as well. So I like that choice.
Yeah, for sure, and it's fun when they negate because you just say, okay, I'll take a card, I'll draw.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for making a decision for me. So that's most of the yellow engine part, or yellow half, I guess, of this. Mostly just to fuel for free energy, and then also have some potential for some free blockers, more or less. So I think that's really powerful, just being able to have consistent blockers and consistent card draw, and just different ways to untap energy right now. And then so you also, on the other half, you kind of have the chain attack red engine on that side.
So obviously the Trunks and Kappa for Self-Awakening, this leader can struggle with that if you get delayed and can't self-awaken, then it's kind of a bad game. Went with 4 Trunks, obviously, to go with the chain evolve. So 4 of those. The Kabbas, don't love them early game because I don't like giving my opponent 2 life. But if you can swing into a tapped card or something with those are great. Or just a late game finisher, pretty good. Yeah. I ran 4 Digging Deeps because I was just sick of not being awakened by turn 3. So
I get that.
So a cool play and how you should probably play it is leave a Frieza army card on turn 2. I see a lot of people that play this leader just sacrifice it every turn. If there's no play to be had there, don't do that. Just save it.
Especially
Watch
if
out
they
for
have
full
blocker
power
too,
energy.
right? That's worth it a lot of
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, exactly. And just watch out for full power energy when you're doing these plays, though, because that can really shut you down, just like it can with Rudigarn and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so when you awaken with Digging Deep, because by then you usually will be, yeah, then you can go ahead and untap 2 mana. You're just basically like all the new leaders that untap 2 mana when you awaken.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, you get to draw an additional card for sacrificing it off.
Yeah.
So that was how I had to stay with the meta. Unfortunately, like, that's more for locals and stuff like that. At St. Louis, I've played Digging Deep to a Self-Awaken maybe once or twice.
It was just so fast. Like, so many people were... I probably played 1 or 2 control decks the entire day. So, where I'd want them to Self-Awaken me, but... they're not.
Yeah, some players are smart. They don't do that.
Yes, yeah. What? Nonsense.
Champa, I mean, he's pretty clear as to why I include him.
Yeah, if you can afford 1K combos, I'd say he's the best 1K combo in the game. Like, even better than, like, Unbreakable, Super Saiyan, Son Goku. The Double Strike means so much more than, a card draw right now, I feel like, so...
Yeah, there are times where he's just absolutely clutch. And I am never sad about it.
Yeah, especially
I do a lot though early game.
Yeah, especially since he's comboing intensifying power trunks with Champa. Oh, I love that every day. But just also people, if you have like something on the board and your leader hasn't attacked, if you attack with your leader, they're not going to probably negate it because like, oh, they're going to do something else, and you just drop chain or Furthering Destruction Champa, and they're like, oh shoot, they were not prepared for that. So
that's exactly what happened in my last Untapped tournament with Android. Against Androids, actually. He had a bunch of blockers up, and then I saw my leader didn't block it, and Champa comboed him.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah. So chain attack, pretty much just for the Zen-oh. Chain attack into the Power Charge Bardock is all right.
Yep.
You get him at a reduced cost that way.
Is it just anything with 15k?
Yeah, 15k or less. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I couldn't remember if it was red only, but yeah, you probably know.
Yep. I one time chain attacked into a Sorbet.
Okay. Nice.
I don't recall why exactly, but I remember doing it.
Okay.
I must have not had a yellow open.
Yeah, and then you probably were, and then you'd be able to untap 2 energy. So, it means chain attack came out for free, right? Essentially, if you did it like that.
Yes. Yep. And yeah, so unfortunately, it doesn't work out quite where you can like sacrifice something, get your mana when you Zen-oh.
Yes.
You just gotta hope you top deck a Frieza army card after the fact, or you play your trunks, play a Frieza army, untap both of those, and then you have your chain attack for just 2, rather than when a 3 mana play has just become 2 mana play.
Yeah.
But then you don't get the draw and stuff after the Zen-oh. So I like to save it for after, but you just gotta make a judgment call on how many Frieza army you have left in your deck.
Yeah, and like usually with Zen-ohs, like you have to make a decision like, can I win without doing Zen-oh? Like, is there a game plan? Is there a way that if I don't Zen-oh, I win? And if the answer is no, you have to roll a dice and see what happens.
Yep.
So.
And then sometimes you land a Scientist Fu and 2 super combos, and it's game over.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Foreseeing Hit is just a fantastic finisher.
Yeah.
He lets you look at your opponent's hand and get rid of 2 super combos or 2 Roshis or chain attack Zen-oh or other Foreseeing Hits. There's a lot of good targets. And especially since he only cost me 2 mana if I set it up correctly. He's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And would you say how often were you able to get him off in St. Louis?
I'd say once every other game.
Okay.
Maybe. I know a couple times at locals, I've gotten him back to back.
Oh, that feels just so dirty.
It just depends how you're kind of set up, but I like 3 of. I like that he doesn't cost combo.
Yeah, so that's important.
And it just anything 2 of it just feels bad to charge. And I mean, I'm usually charging Digging Deep Vegeta because I don't need him by then, but Yeah, he's a good card. I don't get to him very often, so that's why I don't do 4 of.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Like 4 energy is like a really big investment. I feel like right now it's if you get to 4 energy, you better win because uh, it's so hard to get there. So I feel like he's necessary. In worst case, he's just energy or a free 5k. So not a big risk running him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's go to your sideboard. So you've got 2 bodyguard Legic, 2 chain attack one chain attack trunks, 2 unbreakable Goku, an extra Zen-oh, 3 bloodlust, 3 Roshi, 2 Cronoa, and another Banisher Fu.
Yep. So Legic, just to get lucky against Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I would take out Foreseeing Hit.
Yeah.
Because he's just, or chain attack even against
Mhm.
Storm. I don't actually. That is what I do. I take out the whole chain attack, the 3 of those, and then 2 Zen-oh.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely put it in the Legic.
And probably Roshi's.
Yeah, Roshi's are good. Cold Bloodlust, actually, now that Flute's going down to 1,
Mm-hmm.
if you can Cold Bloodlust the swap effect,
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty powerful.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been seeing people like Tekken like Pilafs for that same idea too. Where
Yep, it's exactly the same idea as Pilaf, but it's once again, Pilaf's just kind of risky play with Flute at 4.
yes. Oh yeah, sure. Like most of my deck building, it's the 4th, right? So we have three more weeks till Flute officially goes down to 1.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'd say most of my testing is the idea of only having 1 Flute. So but are there any? Texas is the first one since then. Is there another event in, I think, Ohio? Or did that already
There's a
happen?
Florida event too, but I think that's maybe the week before.
Yeah, I think that's the week before.
Somewhere around there.
So,
I don't know.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only point for Legic in there.
Mm-hmm.
I go up to 4 chain attack, 3 Zen-oh the Plan Gods, and I would sub out Champas for Unbreakables
Mm-hmm.
just to find the chain attack even faster. And that's against
Control.
a lot of Super Saiyan 3 decks.
Yeah.
Because it can just set up a wall and it's so hard to get over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And how do you fare against Vegito, that 4-drop in general? I see like you can have some tech options, like you can Cold Bloodlust him. I guess it's a permanent, right? So Cold Bloodlust doesn't get around as permanent, does it?
No, because it'll be your turn by then, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I really don't have a specific tech for it.
Okay.
Digging Deep kind of is a nice one against it because you get to swing twice at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just goes with the wall. Then I just put the Zen-ohs in and
Mm-hmm.
just play as normal against the Super Saiyan 3 decks.
Yeah, and if you are able to play Foreseeing Hit, you're able to feel pretty confident to see how high they can combo up to.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I like to be able to do math and know exactly how it pans out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cool. I've seen some people run the what's the card? Frost.
Oh yeah,
that one.
That would be a good tech.
Yeah, because you do have the red, so it wouldn't be outrageous for you to run it, and it's 4 energy, right?
Yeah, it's a 4 energy card.
Yeah, I could see that being run, but then they just negate the attack, and then you feel bad. So I don't know. I think he is a heavy cost for a workaround Vegito, just because he's 4 energy and it can just be negated.
Well, even if he gets negated, doesn't his effect still go off?
Is it? I could just be not talking about not knowing what the card does.
Okay, here it is. Terror Assault Frost.
Yeah.
No, it will KO it after the battle, no matter what.
Okay. Unless you get Mafuba'd, right? That's the only. Because I think Mafuba, you don't resolve autos when you Mafuba.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mafuba's so awkward, and I don't see it much anymore.
There were so many judge calls. I don't know if you noticed them, but at St. Louis, probably like one every other round, there'd be like someone Mafuba something, and then the next turn someone played Zen-oh, and then like their hand went up immediately, like, Judge, where happens to my Mafuba target? Does he stay on the board? And the ruling was yes. In case anyone's playing, he does stay because it's not a battle card. So
yep. It's probably my buddy Mustafa Mafu being people. He just stalls and stalls and stalls as well as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 4 mana is a lot, but that was set 1, so it was a different day back then.
Definitely. So for the rest of your sideboard, Roshi is pretty obvious to me. It's just another negate if you need it, and it's a 5k combo. Worst time.
Yeah, I would take out Nimbus for those against non like stormy kind of field presence decks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Veggies and Storm, I'll keep Nimbus in, but everyone else probably not.
And then you have 2 Cronoa. Did you end up siding her at all this weekend, or not? Nope. This weekend, like 2 weekends ago?
I did not, but you got to do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've been seeing some like spicy
Mecha Veggies,
Mecha Veggies, and also for the World Martial Arts Tournament, there's the Jackie Chun leader, and I've been seeing some combos with that as well, where you can like, do you know the 3-drop Goku, the blue 3-drop Goku?
Yes, the one with the Oob.
Oob, yeah. So you can Shugesh that Goku, which will then summon the Oob, which will then put 2 battle cards with 20k or less on the bottom of your opponent's deck. It is disgusting.
Ouch.
So I will. It has shook me enough that there will be 11 cards in my side deck that I have to play with. So, but other than that, would you? I'm trying to think of any cards that kind of follow this theme and might be consideration. There's the 3-drop Freiza, that the 1k or the 10k combo.
Yes, I thought about that too. I guess I would have to side out maybe like a digging deep in 2 Champas if I wanted to do that. But my red goes down a little bit, which is fine because you don't need to charge 2 red until turn 4.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, in an ideal world, yes, it's a sweet card because it does way more than just 10k boost me, because I can then swing with it next turn if it lives and sacrifice it, which, that's the obvious, like, why not play this card? But
yeah, but I think the 10k combo cost can potentially hurt you more than help you. So
yeah, the paying a mana for it.
Yeah,
it's a tight, a lot of room for errors and not much mana to work with. So
yeah, I can see you living or dying on 1 mana, or energy. So
definitely.
Let's see, what other cards can I think of? People in the comments being like, "Why didn't you run this card? It's so obvious." There's Battering Laser. Would you think that would be good in this deck, or you're not super aggressive, so you're not. If your opponent negates your attack, I don't see you like being too hurt by it. But what do you think?
The only scenario where I would want a Battering Laser if they have Battering Laser.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I kind of set up for my turn and then go all in. Turn 4 or 5. Sometimes 3 sometimes, but it's not really something I really need in here because I'm not trying to kill you on turn 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's it for that. Any we kind of talked about the World Martial Art cards and stuff. Any of the new cards that kind of tickle your fancy that could potentially be kind of put into this archetype or something like that? I know the only set 5 leader that was announced was Sorbet and Frieza, which I know you'd be super interested in because I know you like the Frieza character. So
yeah, I mean, I'll have to see what you get off the wish for sure, because that'll make or break it. But I'm sure it'll be good for sure. Yeah, plus Trent is cool.
Yeah, and then we'll see if did you see they misspelled Sorbet's name on the leader card too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll fix that.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope it's not
That
just
or
like.
they can just get rid of the set 1 card to not have a T.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the Bandai thing to do, right?
Exactly. Or it would be an errata. They could errata either cards. They'd just be like, "Oh, we've already printed 1 copy of the card. Let's not, let's not get crazy."
And then they randomly ban sorbet because it's
too confusing.
I'll be sad.
So yeah, I actually don't. I don't know what the actual name of his name is. So I don't know. I'm not sure if they got it wrong in set 1 or not, and they're fixing it now, but. It probably won't make a big difference.
It might be just the difference between the English and the Japanese.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
It's probably just Shorbert.
Shorbert, yeah.
Shorbet.
Surbert. Yeah. Actually, that'd be really cool if like every time they made a new Sherbert card, they like made his name different.
It's like all the different flavors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other cards that you could see? I know that the Frieza army is kind of a really specific archetype, so there's not really anything from. I don't think there's anything from World Tournament that has at least a Frieza army tag, but
it's set 5. There should be at least, or some, because
yes,
they're gonna. I mean, there's a few new Frieza army characters in the Broly movie coming out.
Yeah.
I just hope that there are 1 or 2 drops because. Avenging Frieza is the most restricted searcher like draw a card in the game.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That seems. Is it 1 or
2 or less?
It's specifically 2 or less to Avenging Frieza. Okay.
If it was 3 or less, I would totally probably put in that come into play combo card.
Okay,
but
the text is really tiny on my screen, but I thought it was just any Frieza army, so I could see why.
Top 3 2 or less Frieza army card.
Yes. Okay, that is a little bit worse.
Yeah, it's a rough life to be Frieza, but at least you can combo those things.
Yes, at least you still have that. Well, cool. Any other closing thoughts on this deck, or the kind of the current meta, and where you think the game is going?
I'm probably gonna end up putting this deck away for a little while and just relaxing and playing fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd probably work around with my red one drops and 3 in the digging deep Vegetas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe add a burst attack or 2 in there just for longer games. But no, I think it's pretty much where it should be. I didn't include Nimbus in St. Louis, and I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Was try to make top cut and then lost to Storm turn 2 both games and ended the day pretty sad. But overall, I'm glad I could bring this guy and open up some eyes.
Yeah, I definitely feel for you on that last point, because I like talking about me, I know, but they're on my own channel too. What a poor person to do that. But yeah, like I was really confident in my deck, and then like Storm, and like there was so much Storm in LA, and so I was really freaked out. Like, oh man, am I like I was really teching against SS3, and so I'm like, oh shoot, I should change my priorities to Storm, and in doing so, like I just made the wrong idea call, and I can definitely see like, oh, I don't if you didn't think. Also, we live in the tournament was in the Midwest, and compared to from what I've seen in like other games I've played, like the Midwest scene can be like anything. It doesn't really follow the normal meta all the time. And
there were some pretty crazy leaders I saw.
Yeah.
They ended up not doing the best that day, but they, still could go 4-4 or like
and final game or top cut on the final game was what, 2 SS3s fighting each other too, right? So it wasn't even Storm.
They were SS3 Storm though. I think that's kind of what they built. They did blue yellow and were using the Go-Tens, the scrambling Go-Tens.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I need to know about the tournament I went to.
But third place was Trunks.
Yes.
He made a little splash. That was nice. My friend
and there's a Cell Chain too.
Oh yeah, Cell Chain up there.
Yeah,
that was important. I was hoping to go against Cell because I like Cold Bloodlust against that, obviously.
Yeah, that is so that is so scary.
It's funny, they'll play around me having Cold Bloodlust. I won't even have it in my main board, and then I'll play around them Cell Chaining, and it's just like then we get to 7 or 8 energy, and
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I just didn't play Flying Nimbus was nobody here at my locals, besides one guy that doesn't play too much. Like, he plays, a decent amount, but
yeah,
nobody was playing Storm, and he was doing Blue-Red Hero Garden, so nobody actually was doing Storm, and I wasn't ready for it. I didn't realize how powerful it actually was. Like, anybody I'd play on Untap, I could just Roshi when they were tapped out, or just combo out of it, and then they were all playing the Bardock Evolve.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's actually the best deck because I think it slows you down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, and it can be kind of clunky.
Yeah, and that's why I went with the third Banisher, just for that Bardock, or any Bergamo, of course. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just wish I could have brought Nimbus, and then we would have had a good time. We had a good time anyway.
Yeah, definitely, and I definitely agree. Like, it's hard to gauge just by locals too, especially. It depends which locals, but like most people at the locals I go to, like, of course you want to win, but no one's like super meta heavy, want to like crush everyone. They don't want to like they're just trying new ideas, right? Like, everyone knows that Storm's good, so no one would run Storm because they don't need to prove that Storm's good. You know what I mean? Like, they have to they're trying to discover it. Yeah.
There's a couple outliers there.
Yes.
But, they came from Magic or something,
Exactly. So.
No, this is my first card game that I've actually invested in, and
oh, cool.
It's quite fun.
Yeah. I'd say it's what would I say? I'd say it's a good one to get into. It has a lot of concepts from a lot of card games, but I don't feel like it's fully degenerate yet. So it's a good time to start playing it for sure. So anyways, thank you so much for letting me interview you and seeing your deck. This has been Egman and Andrew Klinger, and
close.
Yes. Or,
Klinger.
Klinger.
Stage 5.
Yeah, I don't. Before I said it out loud today for the first time when I asked you your last name, I don't know why I thought it was Killinger, but that was always what I kept saying in my head, like, oh, it's Andrew Killinger. He messaged me. Cool. So
it's actually Andrew Killmonger.
Killmonger. Okay. All right. This is Andrew K signing off. So, all right. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time. How dare you correct me on your own last name on my show?